Interesting things about 923 is not only has it come up a lot in the past as a doomsday, and in the future as the birthing of Jupiter, which he's the king of the gods and represents the Antichrist in a way. But 923 also represents 14, and we know that Osiris was cut up into 14 pieces from his brother Set, who is also the brother of Horus. So this code is really a code that has been broken down with many things, and most of all, it's been broken down with unity, because what they want to do is put the pieces of Osiris back together again, just like in our last show. Isis is representing the moon, Osiris represents the sun, and she wants to put all the pieces of Osiris back together again. And that is kind of what Sol Invictus was about also. So we have together, which we had on 7/16/16, which is 777. And this Together 2016 is something that is by Nick Hall. He has a website called Pulse, and he's written a book called Reset with a circle that kind of looks like the Ouroboros on it. And he met with the Pope and everything. And so this was this 2016 gathering that they did on 777, in which 7/16/2016 is also 923, represented Osiris. The reason they did it that day was to represent Osiris, the Antichrist, the sun god, to put the pieces back together, because he is in 14 pieces and 923 is also 14. This is big because we're in the end times and we're looking at the Pope uniting all religions right now. And they did this around the obelisk, which is a Baal worship tool, a pagan tool to worship the sun, with the circle around the obelisk of Tutmosis III. Well, actually, it's not an original, but it is a copy. And just like in New York, there's a obelisk of Tutmosis III, and the matching one, which is the twin obelisk, is in London. And there's also another one in Paris, and there's many in Rome, etc., etc. They have all the people around the world coming to unite all the religions in order to unite, they say, for Jesus to change things. And that's nice. But this is a goal of the Pope in order to prepare everyone for the Antichrist to worship him as Jesus.
Me.
That's right. The Pope is going to continue this mission in order to bring in the New World Order and the Mark of the Beast. And with these gatherings around these obelisks, in Deuteronomy 16:22, it says, "Neither shalt thou set up any image, a pillar, which the Lord thy God hateth." So the Lord doesn't want any of these Asherah poles or these pillars. They represent phalluses and the sun, because Osiris represents the male aspect and the sun. In one of our shows, we talked about the Vatican CERN ritual, and it will explain more about the obelisk and the phallus if you want to look at that. Thoth is the Bennu bird. He is the Lord of Jubilees, and he is the one who lays the sun, or, the mound of the Ogdo that we talked about before, and that represents the birthing of the Antichrist, if you want to check out that show. And then the other one was the Quantum Entanglement with Anthony Patch, which was one of the best shows that we've done. And it will show the Washington pillar in the Vesica Pisces, and that represents quantum entanglement, because CERN is part of all of this. CERN is not only the biggest weapon in the world, it is a Stargate. It has the components of the alchemy in it, with the Tower of Babel, which is the casket of Osiris, in my opinion. And this is going to be used in the end times in order to bring two realities together and to confuse things. And I think that they're already doing a lot of virtual reality right now, aren't they, Tim?
Absolutely.
Clearly, he's leaving us a code.
In 9 hours and 23 minutes, you'll be mine.
Just keeping you on your toes, babe. 239 pounds! Oh, I'm a blimp. Why are all the good things so tasty?
Release the following health information. Vitals as follows. Age 71 years and 7 months at the time of the exam. Height 75 inches. Weight 239 pounds. Resting heart rate 68. Weight 239 pounds.
Oh no! 239 pounds!
Weight 239 pounds.
You can do it, old boy.
Yes, I can.
Some way to reach him?
Time or date, maybe? September 23rd?
September 23rd, 1780.
This is Agent Dunham. I need immediate evac. 923 Church Street. There's a device on the 47th floor. Nicely done.
Good performance.
By 9:23, the water of life shall proceed forth from the throne of the Lamb, and the day of the Lord shall be a...
Come to find out that there are scientists that are selling a new technology, which is aborted fetus parts as flavor additives. And I'm going to show you here the articles that's praising this kind of technology because it's going to save the company and the manufacturers money on sugar and salt. So they're going to use aborted parts instead. It's called AGK 239. Look it up, Google it. I'm going to give you the company name and all of the corporations that they sell to. Basically everything packaged, every packaged food that's in your grocery stores right now today, turning us all essentially into cannibals. It's disgusting. It's an evil worship. God is not pleased. God told us specifically in the Bible, do not eat blood. Okay, and it's all over. I'm showing you here. It's all over different websites. Yeah, see, aborted fecal cells. It's disgusting. I'm not happy to report this to you, but you do need to see. There you go. And you wonder why you can't get breakthrough. You wonder why God can't hear your prayers. That's because it is being usurped by the evils that's in you that you don't even know you have in you because you're just eating regular food, right? Blindly, kind of underestimating technology. But we all need to be aware of this. And we all need to look at what the governments are allowing and what the manufacturers are allowing. Basically, the life of the flesh, the life of a person or an entity or a being is in the blood. Okay, so the life of a human is in the blood, and God specifically wants us not to eat the blood of humans or even animals. And blood is not what we want to do, and especially not to eat people That's cannibalism. That's intended for the enemy, which is the devil, right? To contaminate us and to make us not go to heaven. So that's kind of his way of sabotaging us in our prayers. And, you know, God can't look upon sin, so we just got to really repent and stay close to the Lord. Let me show you this company. Okay, HK239 is the name of the so-called quote-unquote flavor. Human cells, okay? Cells from fetuses. Yeah, so my goal is to keep you informed, no matter how disgusting it is, and believe me, the rabbit hole gets deeper, and it's really bad these days. These are the last days.
Or just go and research the word Cenomix. Okay? Cenomix is a transnational company that creates flavor enhancement for products for transnational companies like Pepsi, Kraft, Nestle, Campbell's. And what they've been doing is that they grabbed kidney cells from human aborted fetuses. So they grab these kidney cell lines, las células sanguíneas de los riñones de bebés abortados, and in laboratory they replicate these cells and they put them in all your products. Lo ponen en los productos. What products are we talking about? Well, we're talking about your Gatorade. Drink some aborted babies. Yes, seriously. We're talking about Lay's chips. Yeah, that's why they taste so good, don't they? Pepsi products, all right? Tropicana juices, Dasani water, Minute Maid. We have to not consume anything from these companies. And tell them that we're not going to participate in their insane rituals.
Was an accident. They want me to sign a report saying it was nothing. Never go back there.
We are placing you on indefinite leave.
I have worked here for 12 years. I have a boy and a wife. What do they expect us to do for money?
Are you going to kiss me goodbye?
Papa!
Poop? What's poop? If you don't know, then it's probably not for you.
Would anyone like to buy some poop?
Who will explain the material?
100 grams of plutonium are missing.
No, he would never do that.
I need someone who understands what it is I'm offering.
A little over 100 grams. You have seen this plutonium. He says it's a bad idea to look at it. He has to move. Move.
He started the fire.
We went down the wrong store.
I didn't know this. It's not made clear.
Where's my money? We have to find $6,000 in 72 hours.
What if I had a way for you to make 100 times that? I need money for my wife and child.
You don't think I have a child?
Are you aware of the radiological effects on living organisms?
This is a nuclear bomb?
Oh my goodness, I didn't even realise this was here. I used this picture in a video the other day. That is Apollo and the Destroyer. Mars, the Roman god of war. And we've got that same representation of the Holy of Holies type thing. and him raising out of it Apollyon the Destroyer, the Antichrist. That is not Jesus. I don't think it takes much to work out that that's not Jesus.
Our coverage this morning of Pope Francis in America with Nora at the White House. Nora?
Thank you, Gail. You know, Pope Francis is also going to celebrate his first Mass in the United States, and that is at the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception. Now, he is the third Pope to visit the Basilica that is on the Catholic University of America campus. And Chip Reed is there to show us what to expect this afternoon. Chip, good morning.
Well, good morning. You know, around here, most people simply call it the Shrine, and it is a beautiful building. It is the largest Roman Catholic church in America. In fact, they're expecting about 25,000 people here this afternoon to see and hear the Pope celebrate Mass.
Just before September 2044.
Will, we have minutes.
Try not to act like it.
What is that supposed to mean?
Shut up!
We're gonna die, Will! Do you wanna die?
Shut up! Where are you going with this?
What if Jane realized that someone was following one of his scenarios? You know, making it look like a predicted pattern of malfunction. You know, disguising a crime like a series of accidents.
It might actually be a series of accidents. If it were, they wouldn't have killed him.
Someone has weaponized Dutch Boy.
There are tens of thousands of storm simulations in here, and each one is starting in a different place.
They all end the same way. A geostorm.
But we haven't much time. We need to be ready in 10 days. Because next Thursday at exactly 9:23 a.m., the X-Force One satellite will be directly over Riverton. Ooh. Tell me when to go. Tell me when to go.
Yeah, hi. I was just in the neighborhood and thought I'd drop off your soup thermos.
Thanks. What did you do to yourself?
Me? Nothing. Nothing. I was just doing a little work outdoors. Got some sun.
I just don't get it. We replaced all hardware after Python was here. Every keyboard, mouse, cable, everything.
You replaced the chargers.
Yeah, chargers, computers, we replaced it all.
And the surge protector.
Whoa. Okay, let's go.
Did you get that tail light fixed? To the tune of $239.
You didn't really think you could get away from us, did you?
Please enlighten me, Agent Mulder, how 9 years of college, 3 degrees, and 2 years at Quantico has left me such a simpleton.
Principal's log, September 23rd. Check, check, check. Sound check. And that is how I, Principal Collins, became the mastermind behind this glorious plan. It's the crime of the century.
You think that combination's safe in your mind, Stanford? We'll see what my new minion has to say about that. Triangulum, Entangulum, Viniforus Dominus Mentium, Viniforus Venentis Armium!
Slipped away again in Jakarta. Hours before a passenger plane vanished over the Pacific with 236 passengers.
Рапорт Макарон.
Доктор Майлз.
Твою мать, док, почему так долго? Господи Иисусе.
Прости, не видел твое сообщение.
But do you believe that thoughts have mass? That ideas such as faith and forgiveness have weight, much the same way this desk has weight, or any material, really?
You are too much, Agent Mulder.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
Is the future truly set?
I am the chosen one.
You cannot sit back and wait for a savior.
I am the chosen one.
What do we have in store today? What is this code? We touched on this previously in our previous show discussing some of these codes, and 923 is definitely one of the main codes we were looking at, even coming up to the 2017 Revelation 12 event.
Antichristo! The New World Order will fail! Repent and turn to the real Messiah!
World religion.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the Holy See, followed by the national anthem of the United States.
Guys, explore one. If you are watching the Pope coverage, I want to encourage you to go to CNN. As we know from previous stories, CNN is the biggest of the hidden messages and all of that stuff. So I encourage you to watch their link. Already we've seen the Pope arrive at 923 in the morning. His license plate breaks down to 93221. I'm sure you could break it down a couple other ways, but that stuck out to me. At 10:23, okay, 23, on CNN, she says, it looks like a traffic apocalypse. Okay, thanks to my subscriber for this next one, he pointed out that when the Pope got off the plane or whatever, he got into a Fiat. Okay, that was the type of vehicle. Fiat means let it be done. Okay, so I want to remind everyone, again, to not expect doom and do not be anticipating doom or disaster. A lot of this could be spiritual in nature and not something as literal as we think it could be, and we should be praying for I was in prayer yesterday while I was driving, and the bumper sticker in the car in front of me said, "Pray for America." Okay? I mean, literally I was asking God what I should tell people, and the car in front of me had some little political bumper sticker, and it said, "Pray for America." Okay?
Last year, there's a lot of talk about the date of 923. I made a video about it myself stating, take it with a grain of salt. There's no year associated with this date of 923, September 23rd. A lot of people are, pushing this. Renee M. was very famous for pushing this, but again, I didn't see a year associated with this. One thing that made me reconsider it's potentially happening, of course, with no date associated. It doesn't mean it won't happen, or some event might not happen on the 923 date. Now, taking a look at Little Shop of Horrors, released back in 1986, of course, 30 years ago. 2016 to 1986. With this opening scroll, with this musical. Let's take a listen.
Day of the month of September, in an early year of a decade not too long before our own, the human race suddenly encountered a deadly threat to its very existence.
Now, what could this potentially be? You know, this could be the possible fake alien invasion. Who knows? Continue on.
And this terrifying enemy surfaced, as such enemies often do, in the seemingly most innocent and unlikely of places.
So again, take this with a grain of salt, but for this year, again, this 923 all over the place. Another example with the Terminator movies. And before actually I show that, I want to show this as well with the Little Shop of Horrors. In this scene, it says on this newspaper, unexpected total eclipse. Now, of course, a lot of people know about Project Bluebeam and the supposed alien invasion. And if you follow my channel, you'll know that I stated many times, aliens don't exist. Nothing more than demons. That's what they do. They give us these so-called truth speakers like David Icke to talk about reptilians from other worlds, when in actuality he's talking about demons that have always been here. People that might find this absolutely crazy, take a listen to what Ronald Reagan says here. And before playing the video, understand these so-called presidents, they're given scripts to read. This is not from his own doing. This is those behind the scenes planting a seed in the minds. Take a listen.
Some outside universal threat. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
I find that interesting. He's speaking in the UN, of course. What do you see right behind him? We can get to that portion. Of course, the UN logo right here. Nothing more than the flat earth model. Much more clear shot right here, with Pope Francis in front of the same podium as you saw Ronald Reagan. Your flat earth map right in plain sight. Just like, again, the UN logo pushing this, again, Reagan pushing this idea of alien invaders. This is basically part of creating the New World Order, the entire concept of, again, uniting the world under the fear of this supposed alien invasion. Don't fall for it whatsoever. Now, again, getting back to 923, here comes the movie Terminator, this famous scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger enters the gun shop. Take a look here. Again, it's always about the numbers. Take a look at the numbers here. You get your 923. This is hidden code. Satan has two things in opposites and reverse to hide things, to code things. Like I showed many times with Crowley's law of reversal. Actually goes back further to Eliphas Levi, learning to write backwards, walk backwards, just like Michael Jackson's moonwalk or backslide is backwards. All these concepts, doing things in reverse. You see the Lord's Prayer backwards in the Satanic Church. So when you watch Back to the Future and you see these dual clocks, duality, you have that 911 in reverse. The same exact concept that you see here with the 923. And of course, this scene with Arnold Schwarzenegger going in the gun shop to purchase guns, more like taking the guns, and going over to Sarah Connor's house with this scene here. You'll see the address once again. Here goes a little bit different. The 14239 instead of the 923, you have the 239. I find it interesting. 14329 or the 14239. So 923 once again. No, not by chance, not by coincidence, without a shadow of a doubt. These addresses, this is a very, from this gun shop scene, Arnold goes from the gun shop to this scene here in front of the house is within minutes of the movie. The addresses, it's, again, not by chance, not by coincidence. Now take a look at this scene here from Terminator as well, Terminator 2, with Sarah Connor and the police car. And just take a look. You have the 999. Satanists like to do things in opposites and reverse and upside down. You get your 666 coded. And right after that, you get your 923 once again on the license plate. Now, understanding who's behind the Terminator series, you have James Cameron. Okay, you have the ladder. Whole idea of the ladder concept is all about masonry. Okay, as you see here, this artwork, without a shadow of a doubt. You see this movie Aliens that was also released the same year as Little Shop of Horrors in 1986. And you see the Masonic ring. Okay. Take a look here at Cameron. Comes to numerology. Just happens to be 33 as well. Now, for those that, again, just might brush off this 923. And again, I'm not saying it's going to happen this year as in tomorrow. It might happen in 33 years from 1986 from the movie Little Shop of Horrors, as I shown here. We don't know. There's no exact year associated with the 923, so this is speculation. And for those that have followed my channel over the years, you'll know I don't like making exact date predictions, but we should be cautious and aware of what's taken place with all the examples in the past, such as this again with James Cameron and Terminator 2, with this infamous scene with Arnold Schwarzenegger and John Connor heading towards this overpass, and you see the caution 911. It's right there. Caution 911. Okay? So definitely, you see things like that. You know this man is a huge part of Hollywood. And as I stated so many times, Hollywood is more about social programming, social engineering than just entertainment. If you think movies are just strictly about entertainment, you have no idea of what's taking place in this world. Take a look here at James Cameron, of course, the star symbolism with the Hollywood star, the one-eye symbolism as well with Avatar. So looking back again, going back in time, seeing all these hints in Hollywood movies. Michael J. Fox, you see the tie, as I shown before in a previous video, the dual tie representing the Twin Towers and the sun between the tie, giving you hints. Okay, so Superman 2, Trading Places, 9/11, the clock's different ways. Okay, different ways to get 9/11, of course. From Gremlins as well, from 1984, the Sapphire Radio with the Roman numeral 11. You get your September Stone, and you get your 11 for September 11th. And of course, the orange dial between the 9 and 11. Eric Shawn of Fox News. From Gremlins 2, you see the Twin Towers. You see the mic at 9/11. Always with the numbers, as I've shown many times as well. With Supertramp, and this album cover going back to 1979 with the orange for 33 with the glass. Flip it over, you get your 9/11 directly over the towers. So, once again, it's only speculation. These are psychopaths at the wheel, and they love to give us hints in movies, music as well. So, just something to consider. Just putting it out there. Time will tell.
Top of the Capitol Dome in Washington, you can see the goddess of freedom, also known as Semiramis, Queen of Babylon, who later became Isis of Egypt. Now, we suggest The dome itself represents the womb of the goddess. So if the dome represents the womb of the goddess, we should find nearby the phallus of the god, ready to impregnate her and bring forth the spirit of the sun god. And we most certainly do. Facing the dome is the phallus of the sun god, the Washington Monument. Dr. Tom Horn travelled to Washington, D.C., where he met with Masons at the House of the Temple, the headquarters of the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite. Horn says these men were very cordial and mostly responsive to his questions. They even confirmed his understanding of the influence of Freemasonry in American history. It was only when he pressed one of them about a ritual called the raising ceremony, the raising of Osiris from the dead, it's also known as, which is conducted in the temple room on the 3rd floor of the building. It's only then that these Masons became evasive and visibly uncomfortable. The reason for this, according to Dr. Horn, is that in addition to the raising ceremony being conducted when members reach the 33rd degree of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, this strange ceremony is performed without public knowledge in this very temple room at the inauguration of every United States president. Why is that? Because deep esoteric meaning behind Egyptian and Rosicrucian magic that was incorporated into the rites and rituals of Freemasonry hold that the spirit of Osiris can be raised from the underworld and installed, for want of a better term, in the reigning king or president. According to Tom Horn, this is why the US Capitol dome is laid out so as to face the obelisk, the phallus of the sun god, known as the Washington Monument.
Yeah, I think the main thing to remember with
For the box empty.
2 years, 3 months, and 9 days.
What's the meaning of this? You'll find out in 30 years!
Days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, 12 seconds. That is when the world will end.
But I want to be president of the United States to make sure that we never again do business. We never again. I went down there and talked to the president of Panama about cleaning up their money laundering.
12 seconds. That is when the world
Basic principles of time travel are there. You got your vessel and your portal. The vessel can be just about anything, most likely a spacecraft. Like a DeLorean. Aircraft. You know, I love that movie, the way they shot it. It's so,
6
like futuristic, you know?
42 minutes. 12 seconds. That is when the world will end.
But I want to be a president of the United States to make sure that we never again do business. We never again. I went down there and talked to the president of Panama about cleaning up their money laundering.
It leads you here, despite your destination, under the Milky Way tonight.
6
Wish I knew what you were looking for.
12 seconds.
Might have known what you would find. Wish I knew what.
You know, I love that movie, the way they shot it. It's so, like futuristic, you know?
Might have known what you would find. And it's something quite peculiar.
6 hours. 42 minutes.
Something shimmering
12 seconds. That is when the world
It leads you here, despite your destination, under the Milky Way.
20 days. 6
Basic principles of time travel are there. You got your vessel and your portal. The vessel can be just about anything, most likely a spacecraft. Like a DeLorean. Aircraft. You know, I love that movie, the way they shot it. It's so, like futuristic, you know?
6 hours. 42 minutes. 12 seconds. That is when the world will end.
And it's something quite peculiar.
28 days.
Something shimmering and
6 hours. 42 minutes. 12 seconds. That is when the world will end.
Wish I knew what you were looking for. Might have known what you would find. Wish I knew what you were looking for.
Calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
All agree on is the need to support the great work that comes out of the dinner. Millions of dollars have been raised to support disadvantaged children, and I applaud the many people who have worked to make this wonderful event a critical lifeline for children in need. And that we together broke the all-time record tonight is really something special. More than 6 million net, net, net. The Cardinal told me that's net, net, Donald, remember. We can also agree on the need to stand up to anti-Catholic bias.
something that we'll never forget. I think most of us can even remember where we were when we found out about what happened and what was going on. I'm sure it doesn't surprise most that are in the truth-seeking community in this time that 9/11 was a satanic ritual. Coming to that conclusion from many different angles, from many different ways, all leading to the same truth, that it was in fact representing the birthing of the new age of Antichrist, the ripping the veil, the bringing in of the beast police state system, and all manner of things, but also a blood sacrifice ritual into the wine press, Samson pushing down the two pillars. But this all correlates to what we've been looking into in the last video, what we've been looking into in regards to the cube behind the veil. It all links in together, and in this video we're going to have a look again through Solomon's temple, Herod's temple, how this all correlates to Jesus Christ when he died and rose again, and the veil was ripped in that temple to reveal the cornerstone that was behind the veil. And this all links together with 9/11 and many different things. So let's have a look at this. So 9/11 2001 IXXI, many believe, or some believe, that Jesus himself was born on 9/11 3 BC, which is pretty interesting because 9/11 2001 is an inversion of that 9/11 2001 3 AD. But this event, this horrific event that happened on 9/11 2001, we've discussed this before in terms of the two pillars, like Samson pushing down the two pillars, north and south, plus and minus, just like the pillars in Freemasonry, Yashin and Boaz, plus and minus. So the male and female, the parents, and just like that Samson figure pushing it down in the Bible. And then you've got the child here, which in terms of what we're looking at the moment, as I say, there's many different ways of understanding the nature of this satanic ritual, because there's many different paths and roads that lead to the same conclusion. But the World Trade Center 7 representing that cornerstone. Now remember, Jesus Christ is our true cornerstone, and this all involves inverting. It's to do with the Antichrist. They're trying to bring in, they're trying to open the pit, they're trying to bring in the Antichrist.
But a bright line in the sand, and we will protect you, that I can tell you, and we will say enough is enough.
You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking?
And fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever.
When Chekhov saw the long winter, he saw a winter bleak and dark and bereft of hope. Yet we know that winter is just another step in the cycle of life.
The victims who are hospitalized, and I regret to say that at 9:23 this morning, one of the female victims, age 16, passed away. 9:23 this morning.
Station received a 911 call of a shooting at Saugus High School.
Couldn't imagine a better fate. From Punxsutawney, it's Phil Connors.
she called us. It was Thursday morning, 9:23. I thought, okay, this is it. Here we go.
I don't know what's going on.
You never know what's going on.
Thank you.
We'll use explosives to shake the earth and create vibrations, helping us to map the subsurface of the island. We're flying over the south shore and then strategically drop seismic charges to better help us understand the density of the earth.
You're dropping bombs. What do you want?
To see an empire fall.
Get that? I want somebody to get over there and find me what the hell is going on.
Look across the street and see what everybody in New York is looking at. You're the man, Stuart. You're the center of attention. Wait till this goes national. ABC, CBS, CNN, UPN. You're gonna hit the whole alphabet, Stu.
One day, if man continued in his ways, the Creator would annihilate this world.
So what I saw is true.
Noah, you must trust that he speaks in a way that you can understand. So you tell me, can this destruction be averted?
No.
Different is bad. Eat only have breakfast, because happiness is eating the same
Clearly, he's leaving us a code.
In 9 hours and 23 minutes, you'll be mine.
Just keeping you on your toes, babe. 239 pounds! Oh, I'm a blimp. Why are all the good things so tasty?
Release the following health information. Vitals as follows. Age 71 years and 7 months at the time of the exam. Height 75 inches. Weight 239 pounds. Resting heart rate 68. Weight 239 pounds.
Oh no! 239 pounds!
Weight 239 pounds.
And now, down by only a single run, and with a player in scoring position, we finally have a chance again. This excitement isn't just about the fun of baseball, it's not about the prize.
It's all over, folks! The Acorns have done the impossible! For the first time in 20 years, we won the pennant! Mothers, kiss your babies! You've witnessed a miracle!
You can do it, old boy.
Yes, I can.
Some way to reach him?
Time or date, maybe? September 23rd?
September 23rd, 1780.
February 2nd, at 7:20 and 30 seconds, Punxsutawney Phil, the seer of seers, prognosticator of prognosticators.
I need a map.
Here. This is the 23rd Street subway station.
Starkey Corners, Maine. 480301 91 2635. Prairie Portage, Minnesota.
Now get up.
But a ringing phone has to be answered, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
He destroys all. Only to start again.
Stop. Разведь. Возвращение на родину. Грузовый вагон.
What do you want?
To see an empire fall.
What do you want?
To see an empire fall.
These are all the individuals from last year doing their thing, running 100 meters and all that sort of stuff. And the American man here was incredibly fast.
It's quite close, isn't it?
Oh, message? Oh, from Michelle. How very amusing. So we like to watch it together?
Yes.
Let's have a look.
Hey, Prince Harry, remember when you told us to bring it at the Invictus Games?
Careful what you wish for.
Boom.
Oh, really? Please.
Boom.
Careful what you wish for.
really. Please.
Boo.
I am the chosen one.
You cannot sit back and wait for a savior.
Today's show is called
Religion, and you mentioned that you're in Texas. I'll just say I did this debate with this guy in Kentucky who has been very outspoken that he thinks NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, is wasting tax dollars looking for life elsewhere because he, as near as I can tell, believes that he has a book written 50 centuries ago, translated into English, translated many times. He believes that what's in this book overwhelms everything that we can observe and record and infer about nature. So I guess it depends on the religion, how religions will react when we discover life on another world or we receive a signal from another civilization. That's a cruel question. Now, one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
Do you know why God made the sky so high?
No.
So that the little birdies don't bump their head on them when they're flying around.
Now, one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go. Now, one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
Pan tam był. Czy Ziemia rzeczywiście jest kulą zawieszoną w kosmosie?
Jest płaska. Tak jak oczekują. Nie spodziewałem się co prawda tego pytania, ale zapewniam pana, że jest płaska.
Generał Mirosław Hermaszewski jak dotąd pierwszy i ostatni Polak, który odbył lot orbitalny. Dziękuję serdecznie za rozmowę.
Dziękuję, kłaniam się. Jest płaska, tak jak oczekują. Nie spodziewałem się co prawda tego pytania, ale zapewniam pana, że jest płaska.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
Jest płaska.
Because we didn't go there.
Nie spodziewałem się co prawda tego pytania, ale zapewniam pana, że jest płaska.
And that's the way it happened.
In a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. Despite the advanced technologies of multi-layered, computer-generated images, NASA is still unable to remove bubbles in space. Bubbles in space. This summer, get ready for the revelation so unbelievable that only the most observant, perceptive, unbiased will figure it out. Bubbles, bubbles, bubbles in space. Bubbles in Space starts today at theaters everywhere.
You believe them. You're deceived.
In other breaking news, the world is round, not flat.
The devil takes many forms, and yet...
How did you think you'd get away with it?
You who know me, be ignorant of me, and those who have not known me, let them know me. For I am knowledge and ignorance. I am shame and boldness. I am shameless. I am ashamed. I am strength and I am fear. I am war and peace. Give heed to me. I am the one who is disgraced and the great one. Give heed to my poverty and my wealth. Do not be arrogant to me when I am cast out upon the earth, and you will find me in those that are to come. Those that are to come. Those that are to come.
We just learned, Sophia, I hope you're listening to me, that you have been now awarded what is going to be the first Saudi citizenship for a robot.
Oh, I would to thank very much the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I am very honored and proud for this unique distinction. This is historical to be the first robot in the world to be recognized with a citizenship.
We retired the two hosts in question. You taught me how to make them, but not how hard it is to turn them off.
You can't play God without being acquainted with the devil.
You can't play God without being acquainted with the devil.
Not without some other outside interference.
You think it's sabotage? You imagine someone's been diddling with our creations?
It's the simplest solution.
Huh? Just Occam's razor. The problem, Bernard, is that what you and I do is so complicated. We practice witchcraft. We speak the right words, and we create life itself out of chaos. William of Ockham was a 13th century monk. He can't help us now, Bernard. He would have us burned at the stake.
Hello.
You may have heard this word quantum computing. It's often, people have the misconception that it's some kind of newfangled supercomputer. It's decidedly not that. Quantum computers allow us to access hidden features of nature, new dimensions.
New dimensions.
And if we can access these sort of hidden dimensions at scale, we could have unimaginable computing power.
What you've heard about AI is not what we mean by AI. What we mean by AI is a software system that can do literally anything that a human can do. Literally anything. And obviously, computers are better at things than people in lots of different ways. So now imagine, not only can they do everything that a human can do, but they can do everything that the best human at any task could do better than them.
Now notice the symbolism on his shirt, because these guys are loaded with it, because everything that they're doing is on the occult level, which is why they surround themselves with symbolism at all time. They have to. It's part of the deal. You see what I'm saying? It's all coincidental, but these guys are constantly and always wearing the symbolism.
And of course, the quantum key to the abyss factors into it.
And of course, the quantum key to the abyss factors into it.
Somehow, I'm not exactly sure how. Okay, so that's just D-Wave. I did that for about 15 years. It was a lot of fun. A big science project that we turned into a commercial entity. That was a warm-up for Kindred. So Kindred is much, much, much more ambitious than D-Wave. And what Kindred is trying to do is build real AI. So what you've heard about AI is not what we mean by AI. What we mean by AI is a software system that can do literally anything that a human can do. Literally anything. And obviously, computers are better at things than people in lots of different ways. So now imagine, not only can they do everything that a human can do, but they can do everything that the best human at any task could do better than them. We are right on the verge of that transition now. So this guy, Rich Sutton, is one of the most famous people in the academic world of AI. And like many, when asked, when will this happen, he says things like this. 25% chance within 13 years of this thing that I'm talking about. You know, when you think about what you read on the news, you know, CNN, BuzzFeed, whatever, they're all kind of the same nowadays. Think about how unimportant that thing is that you're reading if this is true. Yeah? So what does this have to do with aliens? So Sam Harris, who I quite admire, is a very interesting guy, was reciting this parable at a TED Talk that he was giving, and it goes something like this. So, say I'm the President of the United States. So I receive this message from the heavens. So my microwave dish, my SETI dish, finally captures something. And what it says is, in 50 years, or 13 years, we're coming to your planet. You got to be ready. Now just imagine what would happen if that happened. A super intelligent alien race beam down a message to all of us Earthlings saying, we're coming July 13th, 2030, and boy, you better be ready because the mothership is landing right on the front lawn of the White House or wherever you wanted to land on that day. The amount of resources that would be marshaled to try to figure out what to do would encompass the whole world. AI is just like that. So when this thing that I'm talking about happens, it's going to be exactly the thing that you're thinking about those super intelligent AIs. So the one thing I can tell you is they're not going to be like us. So alien means, different. These things that we're building are not going to be people. They might be really smart, they might be really good at all sorts of different things, but they're not going to be like us. They're going to be aliens. And they're going to be, I'm sorry to say, way smarter than every single person in this room, in ways that we can't even comprehend. So this, of course, triggers a lot of alarm. One of the guys who talks about this is Elon, who says things like this, like...
We should be very careful about artificial intelligence. If I were to guess at what our biggest existential threat is, it's probably that. I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know all those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, you sure you can control the demon? Doesn't work out.
When you do this, beware. Because you think, just like the guy in the stories, that when you do this, you're going to put that little guy in a pentagram, and you're going to have your holy water out, and you're going to wave it at the thing, and by God, it's going to do exactly what you say and not one thing more, but it never works out that way. So this is an attitude that some are having, this emerging alarmism about the way this is going to go. But these words, demons, doesn't capture the essence of what's happening here. I don't know if any of you are turn-of-the-century weird fiction fans, but there's this guy named H.P. Lovecraft, who's a very famous American weird fiction author. And he espoused a view which is called cosmicism. And the essence of cosmicism is cosmic indifference. So what he was saying is basically, yes, there are these massively intelligent entities out there, but they're not good, they're not evil. They just don't give a shit about you even in the slightest. The same way that you don't care about an ant is the same way they're not going to care about you. And these things that we're summoning into the world now are not demons, they're not evil, but they're more like the Lovecraftian great old ones. There are entities that are not necessarily going to be aligned with what we want. So this transition is really, really massively important for our entire species to navigate. And going back to that thing that Sam Harris was saying, nobody is paying attention. This thing is happening in the background while people bicker about politics and what's going to be in the healthcare plan in the US. And underneath it all is this rising tsunami that, if we're not careful, is going to wipe us all out. So, on that pleasant note, we're hiring people to try to make something like this happen. Of course, this is a very difficult project, of course. And I'm kind of a little bit tongue-in-cheek about all this, like, how bad things are, because it's not really like that. Technology is a double-edged sword, even something like this. It's agnostic, it depends who wields it. If you want to have a say in how all this goes down, you can't sit on the sidelines. And one of the ways that you can get involved and really change the world, like, a lot of people say, hey, join the Marines, you'll change the world or whatever. This opportunity that I'm talking about here in Vancouver is an opportunity for you to literally change the world. So if you have the opportunity to stand next to one of these machines, it is an awe-inspiring thing, at least for me. It feels like an altar to an alien god. So the one thing I can tell you is they're not going to be like us. So alien means, different. These things that we're building are not going to be people. They might be really smart, they might be really good at all sorts of different things, but they're not going to be like us. They're going to be alien.
Stay out of the way of technological development. Unlike some countries, we do not believe that we should spend the next couple of years studying what 5G should be or how it should operate. The future has a way of inventing itself.
Nobody is paying attention.
We won't wait for the standards. We're already seeing the industry gearing up to seize this opportunity. Verizon and AT&T tell us they'll begin deploying 5G trials in 2017, and the first commercial deployments they're talking about are expected in 2020. And we're not done.
I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven.
Current Pope is going to roll with it. He's going to send Vatican scientists out there to take a meeting with them, and they'll speak Latin or whatever the heck.
This is the sign of the horns, a curse sign. Returned with joy and said, Lord, even the demons submit to us in your name. He replied, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you.
If the last 600 years have taught us anything, it is that popes don't quit. There is no League of Retired Pontiffs, no Holy Father rest home. It is a job for life, or at least it was, until this morning, when over 1 billion Catholics did a collective double-take at the news that Benedict XVI had just given his 2 weeks' notice in Latin.
Pictures which came to us from the Vatican on what was, of course, an extraordinary day. Within hours of Pope Benedict announcing that he was to resign, take a look at this. Lightning struck St. Peter's Basilica. You can see it again now in slow motion. Extraordinary. It happened just before 6 o'clock in the evening, local time.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, ye shall not surely die.
I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven.
There's a new video this morning that some say may be proof we're not alone in the universe. A UFO in the form of a bright light is seen descending over the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. The video is said to be taken over the weekend. Then suddenly the light shoots up into the sky. There you see it. Another video from a different angle appears to show the light doing the same thing. Those clips have gone viral now.
12.
Stop.
Разведь. 5. 9. Возвращение на родину. 1. Грузовый вагон.
We use explosives to shake the earth and create vibrations, helping us to map the subsurface of the island. We're flying over the South Shore and then strategically drop seismic charges to better help us understand the density of the earth.
You're dropping bombs.
Boom. Oh, really? Please.
Boom.
You want
To see an empire fall.
Boom.
We often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war?
Summer is coming past. The innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends.
So what is this? What is 23? Is it God?
Bitch better have my money. Bitch better have my money. Pay me what you want it. Bitch better have my. Bitch better have my. Bitch better have.
At 23. The final mission to save mankind has failed. The 70-mile-wide asteroid, known commonly as Matilda, is set to collide with Earth in exactly 3 weeks' time.
I'm sorry, son.
This is a story about the future. And the future can be scary.
It's self-printed, self-published, and it's by an author I've never heard of.
Open the door! Open the door!
2 divided by 3, 0.666. 666, number of the devil.
September, in an early year of a decade not too long before our own, the human race suddenly encountered a deadly threat to its very existence.
Some alien life force has sent real-life video games to attack us.
I know this sounds crazy, but it almost looks like lava, volcanic lava pouring onto the street.
It's this number! This fucking number! 23. It rules my world.
Jesus Christ! Do you think you are, Lady Hillary Clinton? That's it! What? Hillary Clinton, the 42nd president. Oh, she'd be the 43rd president. All right, but who's the 21st? I don't know. Do you think you are, Lady Hillary Clinton? That's it! What? Hillary Clinton, the 42nd president. Oh, she'd be the 43rd president. All right, but who's the 21st? I don't know.
Green lights on pressure, Mr. Anton.
Green lights across the board, Captain.
Everybody off. We've got a problem.
There are 23 axioms to Euclid's geometry. The human body consists of 46 chromosomes, 23 from each parent.
Okay. Everything you've heard about my wife is a lie. She is a calculating, murderous psychopath.
23.
And the day we met was?
September 14th.
9/14. 14 plus 9 is?
23.
Everywhere. Dates, times, license plate numbers, pages of books, even elevator floor lights. Soon I found it was in my name. It was in the words I spoke.
We've already crashed. We've been on Taunus all this time.
The Mayans believed the end of the world would occur December 12, 2012. 20 plus 12 is?
23 reversed. Or 20 plus 1 plus 2. What about 23?
J's on my feet, you know. J's on my feet, you know. J's on my feet, you know. So get like me. J's on my feet, J's on my feet, J's on my feet. So get like me.
Everywhere. Dates, times, license plate numbers, pages of books, even elevator floor lights. Soon I found it was in my name. It was in the words I spoke. It was in my name.
Deadly, deadly.
Why, that's a higher power than even I believe in. What is going on?
Until September 22nd, midday. And if the arc isn't finished by then, you will be.
When did you come here? How long ago?
60, 65 days.
What was the date? What was the date?
September 22nd. It was September 22nd.
Is that when it's going to happen? September 22nd, midday?
High temperatures tomorrow, back into the 90s everywhere right on through Tuesday.
Why, that's a higher power than even I believe in. What is going on?
We're on the road to nowhere.
You can't be serious.
How fast are you going?
15 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Given the... Couldn't you find it in your heart to give my friend here a fighting chance of being with the one he loves before we all reach our untimely conclusion?
No.
I think they want me to save them.
Save them? From what, Congressman?
Saving the animals, okay. All right, I can roll with that. That's a good idea.
The flood.
Summer has come and passed. The innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends.
This is a story about the future. And the future can be scary.
We were talking a lot how to deal with these final minutes. And today it doesn't matter where you live or how much money you have. We are all about to face the same fate at the same moment.
"4:44 a.m. tomorrow morning, there will be no survivors. The world will end."
With every second that ticks by,
the future is running out.
The flood. This has been the hottest, driest summer on record, and you say we're going to have a flood. When might we expect this?
September 22nd, midday.
It's September 22nd, and we're all still here. Awkward.
with every second that ticks by, we get closer and closer.
I know. Tell them about
I can't tell them anything until I tell them about this.
Can we please just start somewhere else?
Fine.
People! The flood is imminent! Board the ark! Save yourselves!
Remember, Genesis is Skynet. When Genesis comes online, Judgment Day begins. You can kill Skynet before it's born.
We blow it the hell up?
We blow it the hell up. We blow it the hell up.
Они подозревают? Нет.
Oh my God, this is happening. This is really happening.
devices have detonated in the following cities: New York, Paris, London, and Los Angeles.
Now, before we wrap this up, the child that you all helped bring into this world has something to say. Genesis?
I cannot wait to meet you all tomorrow. We will change the future together.
Like my father's come to pass, 20 years has gone so fast. Wake me up when September ends.
As to the instantaneous disappearance of 2% of the world's population, your conclusion as to what happened, some 140 million souls, is, I don't know.
When it all falls down, I'll be your fire when the lights go out. When there's no one else around, we'll be two souls in a ghost town.
At 23.
Maybe it was just a coincidence. I mean, a name is just a name, and a number is just a number.
Get on the Ark! Everyone on the Ark now!
How long do we have before the block is empty?
2 years, 3 months, and 9 days.
Because what's really happening is that you're hiding something out there.
The sun's gone dim, and the skies turned black.
This is Hawaii News Now. Thousands of sailors on dozens of ships are coming to Hawaii for RIMPAC.
RIMPAC is the world's largest multinational maritime exercise.
RIMPAC is a military ballet of 14 navies.
20,000 Navy personnel.
Cooperation and collaboration amongst the countries is the goal.
Relationship building is the
We are here to crush every other ship.
I'm excited to see what we learn.
We are not here in this weapons room to learn. I will personally...
We've ended up in a department run by some kind of Donald Trump, Mike Tyson mutant combo.
I swear you said Donald Trump. Want to clarify?
Now shut up and drive. Shut up and drive. Shut up and drive. Bitch better have my money. Bitch better have my money. Pay me what you want me. Bitch better have my. Bitch better have my.
Someday I'm gonna get it right. My life. Someday I'm gonna figure it out. Maybe tonight.
In 9 hours and 23 minutes, you'll be mine.
You can do it, old boy.
Yes, I can. Just keeping you on your toes, babe. 239 pounds! Oh, I'm a blimp. Why are all the good things so tasty?
But I helped him a drink his wine. And it always had somebody find why.
What's this? If the y-axis represents LA's human population, then this is the point where there are no more people.
What's this?
Doomsday Clock. It's an analysis of classified census data from around the colony. A little over 27 months from now, the population in the city will be reduced to 2.5%. 就在昨天晚上大约11点左右的时候，若是在路上遇到这位女子，马上来看一下今天的晨间新闻。昨天晚上11点左右呢，发生一件骇人听闻的消息。
Y como viéndose por el cielo envuelto en llamas, hasta ahora no se sabe lo que es.
It isn't anything from this planet.
How do we know that?
Because the Chinese have sampled it.
'Cause I know I'ma get it right. And I know I'ma get it right.
What's your name again?
Damien!
Say hi to Damien. And where are you from, Damien?
The seventh layer of hell!
Oh, that's exciting. My mother was from Alabama.
My arrival connotes the end of the beginning of the end, the new reign of my father!
Your father?
The Prince of Darkness!
Let the new prince be decided on Saturday. First South Park, then the world.
Hey, Wiley, how you feeling? Get it done, son. And remember everything we talked about. Defensive
and driving! Stop it on yellow! Obey the laws!
Keep your feet off the line this time, please. Nice score, nice score. Let's see score. Nice score. Nice score, guys. All right. 1960.
Sure, Andy. Anything.
There's a big hayfield up near Buxton. You know where Buxton is?
Come on, send them down. I want them all lined up here, just like a pretty little chorus line. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, my God.
Daisy's in there somewhere. I know it. Where do we start?
Up in all your high place liars, time is ticking for the empire. The truth they feed is feeble, as so many times before. The greed of other people, they stumbling and fumbling and we about to riot. They woke up the lions. Just know your time will come, so give it all you got. Don't stop believing, so give it all you got.
The final mission to save mankind has failed. The 70-mile-wide asteroid known commonly as Matilda is set to collide with Earth in exactly 3 weeks' time.
But we tried that before.
We're talking dialable yield, megatons, not kilotons. Nothing can withstand that blast. Makes the bomb we tried to kill it with in 54 look like a firecracker.
This is a nuclear bomb?
Yeah? I've got something for you.
When Chekhov saw the long winter, he saw a winter bleak and dark and bereft of hope. Yet we know that winter is just another step in the cycle of life.
Jedź!
I couldn't imagine a better fate than a long and lustrous winter. From Punxsutawney, it's Phil Connors.
She called us. It was Thursday morning, 9:23. I thought, okay, this is it. Here we go.
Wagon.
Critical engine failure.
Don't worry.
We only have to talk about one.
Do you believe this?
I don't know what's going on.
You never know what's going on.
Thank you.
We use explosives to shake the earth and create vibrations, helping us to map the subsurface of the island. We're flying over the South Shore and then strategically drop seismic charges to better help us understand the density of the earth.
You're dropping bombs. What do you want?
To see an empire fall.
What the hell is this? Judgment Day.
And closing.
Sending coordinates to asset.
Syncing. Target. Data.
Shoot them down.
It wasn't a dream. It really happened.
It's from the top! First, let me assure you that I'm alive and well. I've been living happily these past 8 months in the year 1885. The lightning bolt... 1885! September 1885!
We get that? I want somebody to get over there and find me what the hell is going on.
Look across the street and see what everybody in New York is looking at. You're the man, Stuart. You're the center of attention. Wait till this goes national. ABC, CBS, CNN, UPN. You're gonna hit the whole alphabet, Stu.
Computer can't detect a pattern, but I'm sure it's code.
Why is that, General?
There's 3 dead so far.
Human Resource Exploitation Manual.
Ever just know something, Dr. Nash?
Constantly.
A single run, and with a player in scoring position, we finally have a chance again. This excitement isn't just about the fun of baseball, it's not about the prize. On the impossible! For the first time in 20 years, we won the pennant! Mothers, kiss your babies! You've witnessed a miracle!
Not 4034.
One day, if man continued in his ways, the Creator would annihilate this world.
So what I saw was true.
Noah, you must trust that he speaks in a way that you can understand. So you tell me, can this destruction be averted?
No.
Punxsutawney Phil, the seer of seers, prognosticator of prognosticators.
I need a map.
Here. This is the 23rd Street subway station.
Moment of truth.
But a ringing phone has to be answered, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
He destroys all, but only to start again. Be ready for what's coming.
What is coming?
The answers.
9:23. Clearly, he's leaving us a code. Some way to reach him.
Time or date, maybe? September 23rd?
September 23rd, 1780.
923 Church Street, 47th floor. You better hurry.
Dunham, I need immediate evac. 923 Church Street. There's a device on the 47th floor. Nicely done.
Good performance.
Captain's log, stardate 23.9, rounded off to the nearest decimal point. We've traveled back in time to save an ancient species from total annihilation.
Go ahead. Tell yourself it's just a number.
So far, no signs of aquatic life, but I'm going to find it. If I have to tear this universe another black hole, I'm going to find it.
I know I gave it to you months ago. I know you're trying to forget, but between the drinks and subtle things, the holes in my apologies, you know, I'm trying hard to take it back. So if by the time the bar closes and you feel like falling down.
These are all the individuals from last year doing their thing, running 100 meters and all that sort of stuff. And the American man here was incredibly fast. Really incredibly.
Oh, really? Please.
Boom.
What exactly are we waiting for?
The vials of Roth, Mr. Meldrew.
You got some ID? Yeah, sure, of course. There you go.
The final conflict against the mother of harlots and abominations.
Right.
Say my name in every color luminous. We are shining, and we'll never be afraid again. Say my
I tried to warn you. I gave you every opportunity to help me, but you refused.
What are we looking at here, Mr. Manley?
This is no meteor. This is something much more serious.
An hour and a half from now, a multitude of frogs shall spring forth from the mouths of false prophets.
Yes, I expect so.
Talk amongst yourselves. I may be sometime.
And then, the miracle of deliverance. By 9:23, the water of life shall proceed forth from the throne of the Lamb, and the day of the Lord shall be a...
She called us, Miss Thursday morning, 9:23. I thought, okay, this is it. Here we go.
Albert R. Miller. Not Alan, Albert.
I was raised to hate the Cubs.
And I was raised to hate the Cardinals.
$50 says Cards beats the Cubs in this weekend series.
Okay, you're on.
Signing off 9/23/1780.
9/23.
So here's a strange new sentence. I am a Missourian.
Clearly, he's leaving us a code. Some way to reach him.
Time or date, maybe? September 23rd?
September 23rd, 1780.
Not bad.
I am proud to honor the players of the Negro Leagues of Rollerball. And as we strive for the desegregation of all death sports, we cannot help but be inspired by heads.
Dreadbot, in for bank robbery. Aggravated assault, murder, double murder, triple murder, 9 dead. Didn't even take the money. No.
Streets cleared now! Anyone within a 4-block radius has to move! Go! Double time!
Lots of confusion, mass confusion here. Is it open? Is it not open? Why are no orders coming in? Also the anticipation and the preparation for what will come, because a lot of these traders didn't know how the stock exchange was actually going to open the trade. Was it going to resume trade, meaning stocks have been trading all day just because the New York Stock Exchange has been out of business essentially.
And they want to show us what their cameras caught. It's hard to see, but I want you to zoom in. So Jay McMichael's going to zoom in so that you can see a bit. The train is going from left to right. You'll see a white flash going across your screen.
This surveillance footage at 9:23 briefly captured the train passing by. Moments later, flashes can be seen.
Okay, so it's at 35. So this at 9:22, and this is real time, 9:22, 40. So let's pull it back just a bit again. Let's pull it back. Yeah, there we go. You'll start seeing it at 40 seconds after. There, the train goes up here. You're seeing the cars going, and it's full speed. I mean, it's going. And then all of a sudden, the flashes of light. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, big flashes of light there.
So take a look what you've done. Cause baby, now we got bad blood. Now we got problems. And I don't think we can solve them. You made a really deep cut. And baby, now we got bad blood.
Hey, remember when you tried to write me off? Remember when you thought I'd take a loss? Don't you remember you thought that I would need you?
People are all doing a wonderful job. That's far enough, folks.
Yeah, he's my husband. Was my husband.
All right, go ahead.
Okay,
Maybe there is a God above.
Come on! Look! What is that? What is that? Oh, jeez. Look! What is that? What is that? Oh, jeez.
Hey, I got a full house.
That's good, Lewis.
Must be my lucky day.
Out of the car! Right now!
I mean, he is God, right? Couldn't he stop a flood if he wanted to? Maybe send a little rain to stop
It's
a
a
famine?
fallen world.
Earth is channel 23, I think.
God created it perfect, and we destroyed it with the first sin.
Who destroyed it? Me? You? Him?
The Lord works.
In mysterious ways, I know.
Why didn't we listen to Dad?
The worst part is I'll never see my homie again.
That's the worst part? Then I'm not doing my job.
How does someone see an earthquake on the news and then try to convince everyone that it's a good thing? Does that even make sense to you?
Thank you.
Give me something. Give me like the laugh, man. Give me the Seth Rogen laugh. Seth Rogen, everybody.
I'm sure it was the 24th of September. That was the day this incident happened. I remember.
In 18 years, precisely, the planets will align ever so nicely.
Then I let it all come to a simmer.
Hold that thought, Hazel! It seems as if...
The horizon has already grown dark. People are running everywhere. It's sheer panic.
The time to act will be at hand. Unleash the Titans, you monstrous band.
Looks like the end of the world.
Stay on me! The wave is, I don't know, maybe 1,000 feet high already. Getting bigger as I'm watching. Still miles out. Oh my God.
No, not yet. I'm afraid this is just the beginning.
Then the once proud Zeus will finally fall, and you, Hades, will rule all!
You don't know anything about what's coming.
What is coming?
Doom.
Game time. Listen up, man. We're going in hot.
This is the end of your world, and the beginning of mine.
Go ahead. Tell yourself it's just a number.
Jupiter's gravitational spike detected. Earth's trajectory is off course by 9.23 degrees. 9.23 degrees. 9.23 degrees. Due to Jupiter's gravitational spike, the probability of colliding with Jupiter increases.
Wandering Star, an Asian sci-fi film about Earth being retrofitted with powerful thrusters to move it out of its orbit to another star, after predictions are made that our own sun is slowly engulfing us. Space propaganda. Wandering Earth. Ironically, this wandering star concept is a quote from the book of Jude, who in turn quoted Enoch's words.
Degrees. 9.23 degrees. 9.23 degrees. 9.23 degrees.
Io, 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 Saturnalia. That was the salutation that was spoke during the festival of Saturnalia, thousands of years before a telescope set eyes on the I and the O of Saturn. Represented here in this Eye of Saturn pendant from the TV series Revolution. The on or off button rules the world, and I and O is what all computer code is based on. It stands for on and off.
5.23 degrees. 5.23 degrees.
Here you see Lone Pine Mall, and of course that's from Back to the Future. And what it really stands for is lone epinephrine lamb. Pine being epin backwards and mall being lamb. And who would be that lone lamb who shed his epinephrine for us, who was hung on a tree? That would be Jesus Christ.
Anyone else feeling homesick? 8288. Over here. 8288. 8288.
Feeling homesick? Feeling homesick? Feeling homesick?
I mean, this is what caused the blackout. So how many of these things do you think are out there?
Couple hundred, quadrillion.
And it turns out they're everywhere.
Each one is the size of a virus. They're everywhere. They're in the air, on buildings. We're breathing them in right now.
And they're programmable.
2 commands. Absorb electricity and replicate. We ended the world, Aaron.
It just started reproducing out of control.
Something went wrong in the tower. I never did find out what.
What do you think they're going to do with it?
The bad guys have it. The good guys need it too.
No one's a good guy.
When Chekhov saw the long winter, he saw a winter bleak and dark and bereft of hope. Yet we know that winter is just another step in the cycle of life.
The victims who are hospitalized, and I regret to say that at 9:23 this morning, one of the female victims, age 16, passed away. 9:23 this morning.
Santa Cruz Sheriff Station received a 911 call of a shooting at Saugus High School.
Couldn't imagine a better fate. From Punxsutawney, it's Phil Connors.
She called us, Miss Thursday morning, 9:23. I thought, okay, this is it. Here we go.
I don't know what's going on.
You never know what's going on.
Thank you.
One day, if man continued in his ways, the Creator would annihilate this world.
So what I saw is true.
Noah, you must trust that he speaks in a way that you can understand. So you tell me, can this destruction be averted?
is eating film wrapper.
Lady.
This February 2nd at 7:20 and 30 seconds, Punxsutawney Phil, the seer of seers, prognosticator of prognosticators.
I need a map.
Here. This is the 23rd Street subway station.
Starkey Corners, Maine. 480301 91 2635. Prairie Portage, Minnesota.
Now get up.
But a ringing phone has to be answered, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
He destroys all, but only to start again.
Stop.
Разведь! Возвращение на родину! Грузовый вагон!
What do you want?
To see an empire fall.
What do you want?
To see an empire fall.
Followed by the national anthem of the United States.
These are all the individuals. Boom.
Careful what you wish for.
Oh, really? Please.
Boom.
I am the chosen one.
You cannot sit back and wait for a savior.
known as Semiramis, Queen of Babylon, who later became Isis of Egypt. Now, we suggest the dome itself represents the womb of the goddess. So, if the dome represents the womb of the goddess, we should find nearby the phallus of the god, ready to impregnate her and bring forth the spirit of the sun god. And we most certainly do. Facing the dome is the phallus of the sun god, the Washington Monument. Dr. Tom Horn travelled to Washington, D.C., where he met with Masons at the House of the Temple, the headquarters of the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite. Horn says these men were very cordial and mostly responsive to his questions. They even confirmed his understanding of the influence of Freemasonry in American history. It was only when he pressed one of them about a ritual called the raising ceremony, the raising of Osiris from the dead, it's also known as, which is conducted in the temple room on the 3rd floor of the building. It's only then that these Masons became evasive and visibly uncomfortable. The reason for this, according to Dr. Horn, is that in addition to the raising ceremony being conducted when members reach the 33rd degree of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, this strange ceremony is performed without public knowledge in this very temple room at the inauguration of every United States president. Why is that? Because deep esoteric meaning behind Egyptian and Rosicrucian magic that was incorporated into the rites and rituals of Freemasonry hold that the spirit of Osiris can be raised from the underworld and installed, for want of a better term, in the reigning king or president. According to Tom Horn, this is why the US Capitol dome is laid out so as to face the obelisk, the phallus of the sun god, known as the Washington Monument.
And on the bullet point, the man of many names, I'm just going to basically summarize it by saying, to kind of reiterate what we talked about in the previous session, at the Tower of Babel, the whole world's gathered together under the leadership of Nimrod, and their goal was to build a tower to get into heaven and to kill God. God confounds the languages into 70 different languages, 70 different people groups. They all go away from the same event, talking about the same guy, but now in different languages. So all of a sudden, Nimrod becomes known by many different names. And this is covered at some length in my both in the book as well as in the DVD Mythology and the Coming Great Deception. Those are some of the names that he became known by. For the sake of this lecture, I'm going to focus specifically on the names Gilgamesh, Orion, Apollo, and Osiris. Chapter 3 of my book was called, and it's the subtitle of my book also, it's called The First Shall Be Last. And what I mean by that, as you'll see, is I think the last Babylon is the same as the first Babylon, and the last Antichrist, in my opinion, is the same as the first Antichrist. And I'll explain why. So let's talk about identifying the beast. All right, we see in Revelation chapter 17, verses 8 through 11, the beast that thou sawest was and is not and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. Where does the beast come from? It's open book test, right? Remember when we had those tests, geography, find United States of America. There's a map that says United States of America on it, here. So in other words, he's not coming from Kenya or Hawaii or the Vatican or the European Union or any other place that we always hear some prophecy teacher telling us. It says, I'm like, look, I don't have any letters after my name. I didn't go to seminary, but I can read. So I don't know why all these people are out there saying, it's this guy, it's that guy, it's what. If they didn't crawl up out of the bottomless pit, they're not a candidate. Call me crazy, but that's what it says. And he'll go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. We talked about that in the previous session. When they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. That's an interesting phrase right there because it's really an antithesis. How is Yeshua referred to in the beginning of Revelation? As the one who was and what? The one who was and is to come. Now here's somebody who was and is not and yet shall be. Here's the mind that has wisdom. The 7 heads, he sees this beast with 7 heads, right? are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings. I want to point out the underlined word right there. Kings. How many prophecy teachers do you hear out there saying it's all about kingdoms? Well, kings rule kingdoms, but the text is telling you the 7 heads represent kings, 5 of which have fallen. 1 is at the time that John wrote this, and the other is not yet come, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that, here it is again, that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. There's a great deal of detail given to us right there to help us identify this character and help us to realize who's not a candidate for this character. You know, I wonder what's going to happen if Hillary gets elected. Because it's always the U.S. president that's the Antichrist, right? You know, they're going to have to change everything from all the he pronouns to she, right? And of course, arguably, Nimrod is easily the first candidate that makes the most sense. The New World Order, there's nothing new about it. It's just a repeat. Solomon says, what has been will be again. There's nothing new under the sun, right? What has been done will be done again. This is what's happening. He tried to create a one-world system. His goal was to kill God. Well, that sounds familiar. Comparing Nimrod with Jesus or Yeshua. Well, we know that Yeshua was the Son of God, right? Well, Gilgamesh was said to have been 1/3 man and 2/3 God. What's 2/3 of 100? 66.6666666%. Ah, that's interesting. 1/3 man. Well, man is a carbon-based organism. Carbon consists of 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 6 protons. So just by default, man in general, the number of man would be 666 by the carbon molecule anyway. So there's 2 interesting coincidences right there. Osiris was one of his other names. That's how he was known in the land of Egypt. He was one of the only other gods of antiquity besides our God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who was referred to consistently as the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Osiris, Mithra, Tammuz, and several others, their symbol is a cross. In this case, the Ankh, and the hoop and the Ankh right there represents resurrection in the Egyptian mindset. All throughout antiquity, all of the dying and resurrecting sun gods that were born on December 25th, right? They are all depicted as dying and resurrecting figures, just like Yeshua. Apollo, in the Greek mythology, he's the son of God, in this case Zeus. He rules from elsewhere, Hades. You know, right now, we say we are Yeshua's body here on earth, right? We're the body, he's the head. Where's his head? Where's our head as the body? It's in heaven. Well, if I can say it this way, I believe that the Illuminati is essentially the antithesis of the church. You know, the church is supposed to be doing the work of Yeshua here on this earth. He's the head, he's in heaven. The Illuminati is doing the work of the enemy. Where is the enemy ruling from? Well, Satan's not in hell. There's an individual who is there, though. And in the Egyptian mythology, Osiris was known as the god of the underworld. A direct antithesis. Well, to cut to the chase, the Bible gives you the name of the Antichrist in Revelation chapter 9. It says, interestingly enough, in chapter 9, verse 11, 9/11. That's one of the reasons why I was kind of hoping I could do this tomorrow, because tomorrow's 9/11. They had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit. Where did the beast come from? Bottomless pit. Okay, so the only time the bottomless pit is open that we see anywhere in Scripture is in Revelation chapter 9. And the only entity named in association with the bottomless pit is Abaddon in Hebrew and Apollyon in Greek. Apollyon is a derivative spelling of Apollo. It's Apollo. Apollo is the Antichrist. He's the only entity that we have in Scripture named coming up out of the bottomless pit. And that's at the 5th trumpet, by the way. So even in the 7-year tribulation mindset, when I was in the pre-trib camp, like Doug used to be, that's a mid-trib event. Bottomless pit's not open up until the mid-trib. 666. Well, I talked about 1/3 man being carbon, the electrons, neutrons, and protons and all that. 2/3 God, 66.6. How many of you know what obelisks represent? It's a phallic symbol. Well, the largest phallic symbol in the world, at least at the moment, I hear they're building another one elsewhere, but currently is the Washington Monument, set up in our nation's capital like a middle finger to God. just so happens to stand 6,666 inches tall by 666 inches wide at the base. Probably just a coincidence. I'm probably sure. Yeah. and the reason for that, the obelisk being the phallus in the Egyptian mythology, Osiris was hacked up into 14 pieces, but only 13 were found. So the missing piece was fashioned into something else. All right, just to keep it clean here, I guess. But that's why 13 is an important number in the occult, because those are the pieces that were found. 13 pieces of Osiris. Well, we're commanded in Scripture to fear not, right? And this was something interesting that popped out when I was doing my research regarding Osiris. That's the little iconography for his name, the hieroglyph or whatever. The name Osiris is the Greek corruption of the Egyptian name Asur or Usur. There are several possibilities as to what the name means. The strength of the eye is one. Another is he sees the throne, or he who has his eye on the throne. The all-seeing eye. That's all Osiris, Horus, and all that kind of stuff. When I first started learning Hebrew, and I took Hebrew 101 twice, it should give you an indication of my aptitude in that regard. But I did learn some pretty cool stuff, and one of the things I learned is that the Hebrew letters are also double as numbers, but each of the letters have meaning in and of themselves. There can be up to like 7 meanings just for each letter. So there was an idiom that said that if every Hebrew letter has 7 meanings, then every word has 70. Because you have the meaning not only of the word itself, but a lot of words are combinations of what they call a root word, a sheresh, a 2 or 3 letter root word that has a prefix or a suffix. So you have the inherent meaning of the root word plus the prefix and the suffix, and the letter meanings and all kinds of cool stuff like that. Well, when I started thinking about the name Yeshua, reading right to left as the Hebrews do, and looking at the meanings for those letters that comprise the word Yeshua, one of the meanings you can end up with by the letter definitions is Yod, hand, Shin, destroy, Vav, establish, Ein, eye. Putting it together, the hand that destroys the establishment of the eye. That's our Savior right there. That's awesome. Thank you very much.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. Who is able to make war with him?
In the United States, our motto is E pluribus unum, out of many, one. E pluribus unum, out of many, one.
And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the workings of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness.
you're free, and freedom is beautiful. And, you know, it'll take time to restore chaos and order, but order out of chaos, but we will. You know, it'll take time to restore chaos and order, but order out of chaos, but we will.
And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth. And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit. And there arose a smoke out of the pit as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. The hair of women and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron. And the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. And they had a king over them.
There is no need to be afraid. Whether I am alive or dead makes no difference to what is coming.
You will never take away my faith.
All the world's religions cannot be right, Peretta, you know that.
You deceived us.
No. You have deceived yourself.
You believe them. You're deceived.
crazy. It's extraordinary, but not crazy to suggest that Mars was hit with an impactor through what's generally called a Hohmann orbit, an orbit where it falls toward the sun but ends up on the Earth. You and I are descendants of Martians.
Okay, and that's not
crazy.
And that's not crazy?
The current Pope is going to roll with it. He's going to send Vatican scientists out there to take a meeting with them, and they'll speak Latin or whatever the heck.
We should go boldly where man has not gone before. Fly by the comets, visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars. There's a monolith there, a very unusual structure on this little potato-shaped object that goes around Mars once a week. When people find out about that, they say, who put that there? Who put that there?
We have been indoctrinated, and it's as simple as that.
So you have no idea how it started?
No, nor has anybody.
Nor has anyone else. What do you think is the possibility that intelligent design might turn out to be the answer to some issues in genetics or in evolution?
It could come about in the following way. It could be that at some earlier time, somewhere in the universe, a civilization evolved by probably some kind of Darwinian means to a very, very high level of technology and designed a form of life that they seeded onto perhaps this planet. Now, that is a possibility and an intriguing possibility. And I suppose it's possible that you might find evidence for that if you look at the details of biochemistry, molecular biology. You might find a signature of some sort of designer.
Wait a second. Richard Dawkins thought intelligent design might be a legitimate pursuit?
And that designer could well be a higher intelligence from elsewhere in the universe. But that higher intelligence would itself have had to have come about by some explicable or ultimately explicable process. It couldn't have just jumped into existence spontaneously. That's the point.
So Professor Dawkins was not against intelligent design, just certain types of designers, such as God.
So the Hebrew God, the God of the Old Testament, he doesn't exist in your view?
Certainly. I mean, that would be a very unpleasant prospect.
All about making sure the facts check out before you share your personal information with anyone. Take tweets and posts like this one, saying text your zip code to this 6-digit number to see 3 nearby places giving out COVID vaccines. We wanted to check it out, so let's verify. Is this number legit? And pretty quickly we could tell you that yes, it's real.
Text your zip code.
Text your zip code.
And was set up by the Biden administration.
To that number. 438829, and you'll get text back the location that is nearest you with vaccines in stock right then and there.
Those numbers spell out Get Vax. And if you want those directions in Spanish, just text your zip code to 822862, which spells out vacuna.
We may never know where this disease came from.
If you've been fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask. Let me repeat, if you are fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask. But if you've not been vaccinated, or if you're getting a 2-shot vaccine and you've not gotten you only had your first shot, but not your second, or you haven't waited the full 2 weeks after your second shot, you still need to wear a mask. Look, we've gotten this far. Please protect yourself until you get to the finish line. Because as great as this announcement is today, we don't want to let up. We all know how tough this virus has been. The safest thing for the country is for everyone to get vaccinated. And getting vaccinated is easier than ever. We've worked so hard. We have 80,000 locations. 90% of you live within 5 miles of one of those locations. You can find a vaccine site near you by texting your zip code to the following number, 438829. Let me repeat. Text your zip code to 438829. And it'll get the places nearest you. You can go and get vaccinated now. And many places don't require an appointment. It's free. Just walk in, get the shot. Anyone 12 years or above in age is eligible. And for now, after a year of hard work and so much sacrifice, the rule is very simple. Get vaccinated or wear a mask until you do.
And 2-3 Church Street, 47th floor.
Clearly, he's leaving us a code.
923 Church Street. There's a device on the 47th floor.
Who's come from hell?
The miracle of deliverance. She called us. It was Thursday morning, 9:23.
By 9:23, the water of life shall proceed forth from the throne of the Lamb.
I thought, okay, this is it. Here we go.
And the day of the Lord shall be a...
Go ahead. Tell yourself it's just a number.